afternoon everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So it's been a fair few weeks since I was last on air, but there's not a great deal been going on, to be honest with you. The project, 205 project, is basically, it was ground to a halt for a while. Once I'd finished the interior, and now, well, it's a bit of a different story. So I've got sufficient enough that has happened to give me for me to give you an update. So yeah, I've rolled the car, drove the car in, put it in the middle of the garage. It's now on axle stands, and basically I've taken, literally today, 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks after I moved the car into the middle and jacked it up, and finally got around to removing the struts and the drive shafts. I've split the drive shafts. I've split the hubs from the struts, and these are now going to be available for sale. However, the one strut, the near side strut, has had a knock at some point, or something's happened to it. So it's basically it's not straight. I've run a straight edge across here, and it's pushing up that way, and that basically would explain the slightly more negative camber I had on the near side front than the offside front. So I was a bit worried that the hub itself was bent, but I've done some dimension checks, compared it to the driver side hub, and I'm glad to see the hub is good, no issues with that. So it was the base of the strut that isn't straight, as you might be able to see from there. You can see it comes down and it just throws up slightly towards the end. So mystery solved. However, the springs themselves are right back, pretty fresh by the looks of them. So they're decent, and the top mount's decent, and obviously the near side front strut is straight. So yeah, they're pretty good, and they'll be available for sale. And they're in pretty good condition. The oil I drained on the gearbox, as I'd expect, and a very few miles, is really quite clear. So I took the plug out, had a look, virtually no metal swath in it. So yeah, really happy with that. I took the drive shafts off, and noticed this on the driver side drive shaft, a massive split in the CV boot, pretty much halfway around. There's not an issue, as you might recall in a previous episode. I'm going to replace both drive shafts anyway, get these inner CVs repacked, and install new boots onto both inner and outer CVs. Although the outer CVs on these are pretty good, really tough, and seemingly no issues on them. So yeah, spare drive shafts, happy days on that one. So there, I might have alluded to in the previous video that obviously I'm going on to coilover suspension setup on the front now, and adjustables shocks on the back. I was going to go with Gaz GHAs. However, on initial contact with Gaz, the guys at Gaz, or the chap at Gaz, I must admit that the initial contact email reply back from a customer inquiry contact form wasn't very good. I'm not going to go into any details here. I'm not in the business of bad mouthing anyone, but suffice to say, it changed my mind, and basically I went on to the Pug One-Off website, and I decided to spend a few more quid and go for the AVO GTX setup. I'll show you a photograph down here. So I've got the Pug One-Off AVO 205 setup, and I'll also show down below I've gone for the Baker BM adjustable top mounts. Primary reason for that was I wasn't particularly happy with the tops on these. Of course they've been blasted and cleaned, and it just every time I opened the bonnet I would grimace and just look at the strut tops. So I've decided to go for those as well, even though there's 3-degree adjustment on the top of them. I am running on this car 309 GTI bottom arms, so I'm basically pretty much going to have it set at 0 to start with and see how it goes. There's up to 3-degree adjustment on them. However, what it means, I think it means you need to notch the strut top turret, which I am most definitely not going to do. I don't need that much camber on this. It'll be a fast road car with a possibility of a track day or two possibly this year. I have trust issues with other drivers. I have had close shaves in the past. Well, we'll see how I feel about that. So yeah, a little bit's been going on, you know. Yeah, just it's a final push now, really. Get the new suspension set up, installed, new drive shaft installed, quick check over it, and take it for an MOT and get it on the road so I can actually start enjoying it again. It's been such a long time since I last drove this on the road, and yeah, especially with the new interior, I just really want to go for a blast in it and start enjoying it. So that's it for this episode. It's a short one, but plenty of information in here. So in the next episode, I'll be installing the new drive shafts, installing the new suspension onto the hubs, and installing everything back on the car, and playing around with the ride height on the car. So that's it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this little update, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care everyone, stay safe, see you soon.